I wasn't looking for anything that night. I wasn't dressed to impress or thinking about romance. I was just tired, emotionally exhausted, and hoping the thunderstorm would pass so I could get back to fixing up the old cabin I got in the divorce. But fate never waits for permission. It shows up when you're unguarded, when your soul feels exposed. I was 39, freshly divorced, and completely numb. Not the kind of numb where you cry every day, but the kind where even joy feels distant, weightless. I kept telling myself I was fine, that all I needed was time. But healing gets lonely, especially in a quiet cabin in the middle of the woods. That cabin was supposed to be my fresh start. All I had left was a legal settlement and a key to a place that needed everything: new drywall, new plumbing, and new hope. Ben and Caleb were helping. Not professionally, just helping. Foster brothers who'd aged out of the system, but never stopped watching out for each other. I met Ben at the hardware store after asking too many questions about wall studs. He offered to lend a hand. A few days later, Caleb showed up too. Jeans streaked with paint, and a laugh that made you forget your sadness for a moment. They came every morning. Caleb usually arrived a bit later, always with an excuse. Ben was calm and steady. Caleb was the kind of man who moved too fast and said things that made you blush. But they never crossed the line. Not until the night the rain wouldn't stop. We had just finished tearing out the bathroom walls when the power flickered. Thunder cracked loud enough to shake the windows. The road back to town had flooded. Ben looked at me and said, "There's a motel about 2 miles down the ridge. We can ride out the storm there." He said it casually, like it wasn't loaded, but something in the air shifted. Still, I said yes. The motel was old. One buzzing lamp in the corner. A faint scent of mildew and leftover takeout. There were 2 beds, but I only remember one. It began with laughter, soaked boots, flickering lights. Caleb complained about the vending machine stealing his dollar. Then the room went quiet. That thick, heavy kind of quiet that feels warm and dangerous. Ben handed me a towel. His fingers brushed mine. Our eyes locked just a little too long. Caleb leaned back on the bed and said, "This night's already weird. Might as well say what we're all thinking." I didn't look away from Ben. I just said it. "Only if you take turns." I don't know where it came from. Maybe it was 15 months without being touched. Maybe it was the way they looked at me, not like I was broken, but like I was unfinished. There was a pause, only a second. Then Ben stepped forward. Caleb sat up. I stopped breathing. The rest was silent. No more talking. Just the weight of their hands on my waist, a kiss on my shoulder, the heat of 2 bodies moving around me like I was something sacred. No one tried to possess me. They shared me like I was something fragile, something that deserved care, not conquest. My shirt was lifted slowly. My breath caught in my chest. My whole body trembled, not from fear, but from recognition. Like I was finally being seen. It wasn't rough. It wasn't romantic either. It was something else, urgent, tender, and filled with aching silence. They held me steady. One touched while the other watched. My eyes closed. My walls came down. And I gave in. I didn't sleep that night. Not because of what we did, but because something inside me cracked wide open. Something I didn't know how to close again. The next day, they didn't come. No text. No truck in the driveway. Just silence. By the 3rd day, I couldn't take it anymore. I drove into town and stood in the hardware store pretending to need nails. Ben found me first. "You okay?" he asked. I looked down. "I don't know," I whispered. He nodded. Said Caleb hadn't said much either. "Maybe we broke something," I said. "Or maybe," Ben replied, "we uncovered it." That week they came back. No apologies. No explanations. Just drills, donuts, and a quiet understanding that we weren't just rebuilding a cabin anymore. We were rebuilding something else. The tension never left. It lingered in every look. Every time Ben leaned too close, showing me how to hold the level. Every time Caleb's fingers brushed mine when he passed a tool. Every moment felt like it might collapse under the weight of what we weren't saying. One night, I was in the kitchen when Ben reached past me for a cabinet. I turned, and suddenly we were chest to chest. My back hit the counter. His breath was on my cheek. Neither of us moved. 10 seconds passed like thunder. Then he stepped away like it hurt. Later, Caleb stood by the truck, staring up at the stars. "You scare me," he said softly. "Not because I don't want you. Because I do. Too much." It came undone again one rainy Sunday evening. No tools. No work. Just the three of us, sitting in the half-finished living room with a bottle of bourbon and too many unsaid things between us. I finally said it. "We can't keep circling this." Ben looked at me, calm but conflicted. Caleb didn't speak. I stood, walked to the kitchen, needed air, space. But I felt them behind me. I turned. I didn't run. Ben reached out, his hand warm on my cheek. Caleb's presence was steady at my back. "Only if you want this," Ben whispered. I did. God help me, I did. This time was different. No storm to blame. No motel walls. Just a choice, the most reckless, honest one I'd made in years. They kissed me slowly, reverently. And I let them. Because I wanted to feel alive. Because I needed to remember I was still someone worth holding. We didn't speak afterward. Just lay tangled on the floor, like the aftermath of something sacred and dangerous. 3 days passed. Silence again. Until Ben came by, tired, but clear. "I don't regret it," he said. "But I don't know what to do now." Neither did I. We finished the cabin eventually. Every board, every nail carried a memory. They said they'd keep things clean. I said okay. But nothing inside me felt clean. It felt raw. And real. When they finally drove away, separate trucks, no goodbyes, I stood barefoot on the porch, holding a mug gone cold, with a heart that no longer knew where it belonged. Weeks later, I found a note on the porch, tucked under a stone. No names, just words I'll never forget. "We didn't leave because we wanted to. We left because we didn't want to break you more. But if you ever want us, really want us, you know where to find us." I haven't gone after them. Not yet. But I haven't thrown the note away either. Some wounds don't heal. You just carry them. Some moments aren't mistakes. They're just truths, too fragile to last. And maybe that night wasn't the end. Maybe it was the beginning of something I'm still not brave enough to face.